On the tranquil evening of Sunday, April 14, 1912, the illustrious Titanic, under the seasoned command of Captain Edward J. Smith, sailed resolutely toward New York. The majestic vessel had gracefully surpassed the midpoint of her voyage, forging ahead at nearly full throttle. The grand plan was to dock at White Star's Pier 59, nestled along the west side of Manhattan, promptly on Wednesday morning. Amidst the vast expanse of the North Atlantic, 9 other ships charted their courses, traversing both west and east along the well-trodden shipping lanes. Yet, just south of the Grand Banks, a foreboding ice field sprawled, 4 miles wide, extending ceaselessly north and south as far as the eye could discern. As these maritime behemoths approached the perilous zone, a collective alarm resonated. Wireless messages crisscrossed the ocean, a symphony of caution among vessels navigating the same treacherous waters. A recognition of danger pervaded, shared through the electronic tendrils of communication. The Titanic, undoubtedly, received these missives, acknowledgments reverberating through the ether. The gravity of these warnings should have been unequivocal. Marconi's messages, more than mere indicators of ice's location, bore vital information about the size and perilous nature of the icebergs. Kristen Gard, the custodian of the International Ice Patrol, possessed an intimate understanding of the various icy manifestations these messages unveiled. From frozen seawater flows to growlers, akin in size to a grand piano, and colossal icebergs exceeding 200 meters, the spectrum was expansive. Hitting an iceberg, then as now, spelled potential catastrophe, a truth not lost on Lord Mersey and his scrutinizing black box. Within the pages of his journal, Mersey zeroed in on 2 particular ice warnings relayed to the Titanic. 2 vigilant vessels had sounded the alarm, detailing the presence of icebergs, growlers, and flows. Mersey's sketches illustrated the chilling obstacles the Titanic would inevitably encounter en route to the monstrous iceberg, a clarion call that should have given pause. Further annotations within Mersey's journal pointed to plummeting temperatures, a telltale sign of encroaching ice. Most tellingly, perhaps, he emphasized and underlined a critical observation: no reduction of speed, a detail that echoed with ominous implications. It underscored the unfolding tragedy that could have been averted. This revelation weighed heavily on Lord Mersey, prompting a poignant query: why didn't they slow down? The journal illuminated Mersey's growing conviction of potential criminal negligence in this tragic saga, a sentiment shared universally. Historical scrutiny has relentlessly circled the enigma. Why did Captain Smith refrain from slowing down? One compelling hypothesis revolves around the actions of J. Bruce Ismay, a figure of great influence aboard the Titanic. Ismay, the helmsman of the White Star Line, bore the responsibility of steering it into the 20th century. On the vessel he considered White Star's crown jewel, Ismay wielded considerable authority, mingling with affluent passengers while keeping a vigilant eye on Captain Smith and his crew. The pivotal moment occurred around 2 p.m., with Ismay on deck when the Baltic, another White Star-owned ship situated approximately 230 miles to the east, transmitted an ice warning. This juncture in the narrative became fodder for conspiracy theorists across the century, a pivotal juncture scrutinized by Lord Mersey himself. A Marconi gram, laden with import, exchanged hands between Captain Smith and Ismay. The paper trail of this communication ended up in Ismay's pocket, courtesy of Bruce's mate. The question looms: why did Captain Smith entrust Ismay with a telegram? In his meticulous inquiry, Lord Mersey delved into Ismay's testimony from the British Inquiry, where Ismay underscored, "Captain handed me the Baltic message, a document he retained for a considerable duration." The significance was not lost on Mersey. Why, one wonders, did Ismay clandestinely tuck it away? Was there information he wished to shield from the bridge crew? Did he harbor a reluctance to decelerate the Titanic? Ismay's motivations come under scrutiny. Was he more concerned with punctuality than safety? An additional layer unfolds as Captain Smith, that Sunday evening, sought the return of the ice warning from Ismay to post it in the ship's chat room. The Baltic message, a crucial piece in the puzzle, took its place alongside 6 other ice warnings received throughout that fateful day. As the clock ticked towards 9:20 p.m., Captain Smith, fatigued and perhaps unsuspecting of the impending catastrophe, retired to his cabin, relinquishing command to his seasoned senior officers. The North Atlantic, unusually tranquil as the vessel glided through sunset and into the night, posed an unforeseen challenge. The eerily calm waters masked the lurking iceberg. In such placid conditions, the absence of waves breaking on the iceberg's edges rendered it virtually invisible. High above the canvas dodger of the lookout's mast, the vigilant lookouts faced the brunt of a biting 25-mile-an-hour wind, potentially hindering their vision. At precisely 11:39 p.m., the ominous sight of the colossal dark mass materialized before Crow's Nest Lookout Frederick Fleet. With urgency, Fleet sounded the lookout bell 3 times, a desperate alarm echoing through the frigid air. Fleet swiftly reached out to 6th Officer James Moody on the bridge, a crucial link in the fateful chain of events. Yet, at 21 or 22 knots, the Titanic hurtled towards the iceberg, leaving scant seconds for evasive action. The die was cast, the ship's destiny sealed. First Officer William McMaster Murdoch, grappling with the weight of thousands of lives, barked the command, "Full astern." Murdoch's urgent signal reverberated through the engine room, but the iceberg loomed closer by the second, at a staggering reported height of 60 feet, aligning with Titanic's crow's nest, and boasting an estimated length exceeding 400 feet greater than a football field. The iceberg embodied an incomprehensible force. Scientists postulate a weight of up to 1.5 million tons, equivalent to 15 fully loaded aircraft carriers. The iceberg, a formidable mass compressed through nature's relentless pressure, possessed the destructive power of a granite mountain. The inevitable collision occurred at 11:40 p.m. Titanic, in its encounter with the iceberg, suffered an 8-second scrape along its starboard side, gouging the double-plated steel hull. The impact opened the ship's side, rendering it vulnerable as the iceberg sliced through it with a ruthless efficiency reminiscent of opening a tin of sardines. The forward compartment, 3 cargo holds, and 2 engine rooms were torn open, allowing the frigid sea to rush in a chilling embrace that marked the beginning of the tragic end.